I mean, I would be fine with starting if everyone else is.
And Bob, and no Bob and no Paul.
Bob's right there. I see Bob.
Okay. Okay, so we have enough people to vote on if we have to vote on stuff at the end.
I think so.
Okay.
I think we just need a majority. We've got myself, you, Bob, Kyle. So that's 4 of the 6. So I think we're fine.
Okay.
I mean, Mary's here, but I mean, she can vote. You can vote yourself in, Mary.
Andrea, is it possible to move that to the front of the agenda right after the meeting? I'm just afraid if I lose cell service, like I don't want to mess you guys up.
Yes, for sure.
Okay.
You're still running the meeting, Andrea. Sorry, you're not getting out of this one.
I'm sorry, Mary. I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. I totally agree. I'm just so afraid that if I lose you guys or if I have to go inside. So I'm standing outside and I'm afraid I'm going to get chomped by mosquitoes.
Jeff,
but I don't get bad cell service.
Jeff, are we on YouTube yet? Are we live on YouTube?
We are. It says
we
it
are.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, if everyone's okay with it, we'll just proceed without Heather at this point. So I'd like to welcome everyone or call to order the Franklin Township Pro meeting for August 2024. We do not have any members of the public tonight, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 members of the Parks, Recreation, and Open Spaces Board. First up, I'll make a motion to approve the June 2024 Pro meeting minutes. Do I have a second?
Second.
A second, yeah.
Seconded? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, approved. Let's jump. There's no public comment. We don't have anyone from the public here tonight. Let's jump forward to electing our new chair of the Pro Board. I'm unsure exactly how we're supposed to do this, but I'd like to make a motion, I guess, to elect Mary Hanley as the chair of the Parks, Recreation, and Open Spaces Board. All in favor?
Aye.
I will second it, and then, yeah, all in favor. Yep.
Second. Okay.
And aye.
Okay. And then all in favor. Okay. Thank you, guys. Did I speak too quickly? Are we good?
What are we supposed to do? Aye again?
No. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. You're freezing on my screen, but aye.
Okay.
Oh,
all right.
no.
So I believe that passes. Mary is the new chair of the board. Yes, you may. So sorry. And so next month, Mary will lead the meeting. Okay.
Thank you, Andrea, and thank you, Mary.
Thank you, guys.
Are you doing a vice president or not?
So do we need to vote? So I believe that, you know, in our discussion, we had discussed Bob being the vice or the, I guess, the vice chair. Do we need to vote that into place? Paul was previously in that position.
Where are you going? To the beach?
No. Feedback, is that something that needs voted into place?
I would imagine if you did the president, you would have to do the vice president.
Okay, so I make a motion to put
Hold
Bob
on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. I would feel a little weird doing this without Heather since she's the one who showed interest in it.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
we can also wait, and maybe if Paul wants to be there, we could. I mean, obviously, I support Bob if that's what works with Mary. But if we want to wait and have Mary make that motion, would that be possible, Mary? I mean,
yeah, I'm all about it being Bob. Absolutely, I didn't want that to come off that way. But like, I'm not sure if Paul has to like hand down the throne or what he needs to do.
I don't know how it works, or I mean, it's always just kind of been like I thought whoever the president or the chair wanted to be the vice chair. I don't even know if it's president and vice or chair, or I'm not exactly sure what the wording is. I don't have it in front of me, but I mean, obviously, whoever Mary wants to, you know, feels comfortable working with. But if you want to start the next meeting and we can make that motion and just because I'm not sure if
you
want to do it now or
All right, well, let's just wait till,
But
till
Bob
next meeting. I
working-
think that's fine.
Bob could start doing all the work now.
Bob's a doer. Bob
Yes.
will jump right in, right, Bob?
I'm in.
He's in. Okay, well, let's wait then till our September meeting, when we've got Heather and Paul in attendance, and then Mary, you can make that motion. You're on mute.
Sounds good.
Mary, when you're chair, you can't put yourself on mute.
As an aside, Mary, how are you doing? I feel so bad.
I'm okay. You know, living life.
I felt bad. We just saw you and then that happened like right afterwards.
Yeah, I walked around on it for a week without knowing.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh. All right.
Yeah.
Well, feel better.
Okay, well, let's cruise through. Jen, if you need to leave, if you lose service, then
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm just gonna put you on mute just so that if I have to go inside that it doesn't disrupt the rest of the family, but I'm definitely listening.
okay, sounds good. All right, so first up on the order of old business is Liam Kelly. I do not believe he is present tonight. I had Jeff and I met with him over at Franklin Preserve. We walked the trail markers and all looks fantastic. He will present his finished project at the next Board of Supervisors meeting. And so I had offered that if he wanted to come and do like kind of a run through with us first, that he could. But he is not here, so I'm sure he's good to go for that Board of Supervisors meeting. One thing I will want to say is that at one point, Paul was in the process of trying to find more sturdy trail markers for Liam to use, and he was not successful kind of in a timely basis in getting that information back. And so Jeff and I made the decision to go ahead and order something for him to install. They've been installed. I think when it comes time to install trail markers so Liam's done Franklin Preserve. When it comes time to do Crossan Park, I think, if Paul has found trail markers that are a little more sturdy that he wants to present to the board, I think we should give him that opportunity to. And so we'll leave that up to him to present to us at that point. Okay.
Yep.
Next up is the You Are Here map. Or the Franklin Crossan Park map. Mary, do you have updates on this? I know there has been some back and forth regarding trail changes. You're on mute.
I will learn that at some point, maybe. Okay, I am not on mute, correct?
Correct.
Okay. There we go. Okay. So the red is the trails that we have on the map that we have. So the red is this, right? All of these trails are red. And then the yellow trails are the ones that Matt Thompson went out there and rode. So depending on accuracy of whatever device he used, it could be very accurate. It could be not so accurate. I mean, if you look at it, it doesn't look that far off, but I don't know. I mean, we're getting rid of a lot of stuff here. So I didn't know if anybody else had any intake on.
Say that again. The red is what you marked and the yellow is what Matt.
Yes.
Matt.
I can okay, so my main parts, I'll just get into this, huh?
Yeah.
All right. So down here, because when we were originally doing it with Paul, he had said that we wanted just like a general, like cartoony kind of thing, right? Like,
yeah.
So all the lines have been just generalized. So I don't know how much of this, you can see my cursor, right?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know how much of this, like, because originally we cut this out, this whole thing, and we just kind of made it straight.
I personally don't think all that detail is necessary. I think it kind of looks messy. And basically, when somebody's walking it, if they see the, the red lines, right? If that's what they see on a trail map, I mean, I don't know that they need to see kind of all those. I don't think they're technically switchbacks, maybe, but all those back and forth squiggly lines. I think it just looks messy. I don't think that's necessary myself. Anyone else?
Can we do two separate ones, a walking and a bike? Because looking at this, it just looks like a whole bunch of lines all over the place.
Well, this is just a mess. This is just to show you guys what's on here.
But I'm saying, can we do, because people are either going to be walking or biking, so, and I don't know, do we really want bikers?
I think we want one map. I don't think we want two
Okay.
sets. And so I think we probably need to decide, do we need all that extra information, the squigglies, or can we just generalize it?
I think we would go with Mary's, just generalize it, because the trail is gonna lead you the way you wanna go anyway.
Yeah, it's not like there's a bunch of connections. There's
Right.
I agree. I think Mary, kind of what we're looking at now, right there, where your cursor is,
we have to go over all this.
Yeah, so that section back there looks like the only section that is very far off from kind of
this right in here.
Yeah.
So what I was told is for the bikes, so this was bike oriented. They don't want people with bikes just chilling out and going through the parking lot and all that, and cars could hit them and wreak all havoc. So they're putting, or this, I don't know if this exists or not, to be honest. I guess it has to if he wrote it.
And Jeff is here, but I think what Jeff told me was they were I thought, Jeff, maybe you said that they were creating a path so that they didn't have to cut through that field. Is that correct?
I think you're right though on that.
Okay, yeah, I think that's right. And then so we're gonna get rid of this. Oh, I don't have to hold that. We'll get rid of all this then in here. Yeah.
Yes, I think so. I think there, yes, you get rid of that original red.
Okay.
And move it to that yellow line.
Okay. And then this one is good. This line here.
Yeah.
I have some questions in here though. What's happening here? Because like, see how it's like pretty far off? Like, okay, all right, I guess the question is, do we want to overall keep what we have in the, I don't know.
I mean, I think my inclination would be, generally speaking, to keep what we have. Let's not reinvent the wheel. I don't think it's necessary. It looks like to me there are probably 2 or 3 areas where there are a little bit more significant changes that we should review with either Matt Thompson or Dave G, and just make sure that we've got the right kind of like path in place. But generally speaking, I would keep what you've created. I personally don't think we need all the extra squiggle.
Yeah. And then I have a question about how we should delineate the paved path, because that he didn't do, because I don't think they're riding bikes on that. So do we want to call out the paved path still, or stick with just what's yellow?
I mean, I think calling out the paved path is important.
I think so too.
I mean, maybe it should be a different color. It should be hatched differently or shown differently, but I think it needs to be called out to some extent.
Yeah. In which case, oh, you know what? Never mind. Okay. And then this section right here is my other question. Are we just getting rid of that? because it's too steep? Everyone's okay with that?
I mean,
I know.
I have never accessed the trail. I've never accessed that trail that from that location, and so I've never walked it to know that it's too steep. But many have
That's how I
said
get
that, and so it. I guess what are Matt Thompson, Jeff, and Dave saying about that specific?
that it's too steep and they want it gone. So
Yeah, and I think Paul's preference was to keep it on the map. Is that correct?
yeah, because technically it goes straight down here. Paul had me put in this curve. That curve doesn't exist. That was something that was gonna hopefully be put in. Because right now it's just straight down. But I feel like it would be like there's no access there from here. The only access you have to right here would be all the way down here. You know what I mean?
So I guess my question is, do we really have a say in this, or
Right.
do we need to just, and maybe Dawn can give us this information, or do we just need to cut it out because that's what we've been advised by from the board?
I think we can take one more stab at it and ask. I thought I understood they wanted to take it out, but I could be wrong. But because it was steep like that, they wanted to just eliminate that little arch there. But like you say, there's no other way to, and the trail will be there. So if the people want to use it, they can use it, but it's not on our map. So it's not a suggested trail. You know what I mean?
So should I put it in that gray that the other trails are in, or am I taking that gray off altogether?
Well, why don't you make a hit list of just that one and the ones at the bottom that you have questions about? And we
Okay.
can revisit it one more time just before we,
All right.
because like you say, this is a work in progress, but
And Dawn, would it be appropriate to ask those questions during the next Board of Supervisors?
absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, so Mary,
3
maybe
weeks,
let's
right?
plan on that. Yeah.
And I think I was just talking to David, the who's making the backpacks for the library, and he was hoping he could get it. So I know that there was a time sensitive stamp on it, but I think that's good. I think make a hit list of what you want to ask, just to be absolutely certain. A wish list. Yeah, Veronica says a wish list, not a hit list, but a hit
Okay.
list.
Bad
Sounds better. We'll go with
terminology.
which.
Yeah, just the last couple questions. And I'm with everybody else. I don't think all those squiggles are necessary. I think Bob's right. The trail speaks for itself.
Yeah.
So if you're on the trail, I mean, it might squiggle a little, but all those squiggles aren't necessary.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Keep it simple.
Yes, exactly.
Okie dokie.
Okay. All right. So Mary, maybe we chat about this again before the board of supervisors meeting, and then we can present that to them.
All right. Now you got to tell me how to get out of screen share.
I think you just hit.
I see it.
Okay. There she is.
Better, I promise.
Okay, good. All righty.
Okay.
On to new business. Volunteer Day this coming Saturday at 8 a.m. We have a volunteer day at Crossan Park. I know that we are. Where exactly are people to meet us at the park, Mary and Bob?
The East Meadow.
What is the East Meadow?
It's not the Healing Gardens Meadow. That's all I know. It must be halfway down, like towards the soccer field.
So like that middle parking lot, maybe?
I'm thinking that, yes.
Okay.
Dawn, am I right? You went mute again. Unmute.
I'm sorry.
There you go.
Yes, the one, the meadow that's down between where you turn to the other and below the one
Okay.
that's not mowed, the lower one that's not mowed, right?
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. So hopefully
There's
we
signs out that morning. If we have it.
Yes, did you see
Gonna say,
Jeff's
I don't
email?
know about the weather, but
Yeah, Debbie's coming up here. I don't know if it's gonna hit us.
Yeah, I'm thinking my story time's gonna get a hit this week.
Oh,
But nevertheless, it may be way too muddy to even go down in there. You know how all the water runs down into those trails anyway.
Yeah.
So I think they're gonna make that decision tomorrow.
I mean, I think we play it by ear, and I mean, it would be great if, kind of following this, we can get a monthly volunteer day set up. So maybe this is just, and I know we've been talking about that for a little while. So if it doesn't happen this Saturday, then we'll reschedule.
Yep.
Okay. Next up, sign language sign for Crossan Park. I know this was something Bob and his wife had kind of discussed with us. Bob, I don't recall where we left off on that. Is that something that we needed to, maybe find out grant information on, or just kind of pull information together for?
What I'm trying to do is find a more reasonable cost for it. So I've just been checking different sites out and things like that to get ideas of what we're doing so that we can put it together and then present it to the board.
Okay.
So I should be able to do that next meeting.
All right, we'll leave it on the list and we'll keep,
I have a question real quick about that. Is it something that a poster that can just be made and then printed out as if it were like that Bluebird sign or the Meadow sign or whatever it is?
I think they're actual metal signs because they're going to have to be very strong, because then they could just mount an apparatus like that little sliding board area or something like that.
Okay.
okay. Next up is improvement of our meadows. Dawn, this is you.
Okay, with that said, with the Nickel Park meadow coming into full view for everybody and hitting the papers and all that, there's all excitement about the meadow that's over there at Nickel Park. And I hope you all got a chance to go over and look at it because it was absolutely spectacular. So Andrea said, "Oh, and I was barraged by people on the Healing Garden site and everything. And I said myself, we want meadows over at Crossan." With that said, everybody jumped on board and they said, "Oh, yeah. And I said, "Wait, I've been working on this for 3 years now." So I said, before you get too excited, I said, let's all talk. So I talked to Andrea and I talked to Mary Hamley and I talked to Bob. And I just said, we need to meet and we need to really discuss the different things. We have to, number one, have the areas we want to do. We have to find out funding. I've been working on this with Mary McVeigh and Greg Sachs ever before Greg left. So I've been to Meadow workshops and there's different sources of funding and there's different sources of how people to put them in. And as Bob said, it's just not as easy as digging it up and throwing out the seeds, but that's okay. So we want one. We definitely want one, and we might have to start small. We might.
Took 3 years.
So it takes 3 years for those meadows to come to fruition, but you have to have your ducks in a row. And as we all know, there was much. People still don't understand about the Healing Garden being not a beautiful garden, and not a beautiful Longwood garden. So we're selling something that people aren't used to. But now that there's one at Nickel Park, and now that we've made friends with the people over at Nickel Park, Brian Sachs is Greg Sachs's brother, and Betsy Curlin is on the pro committee for them, and she's going to meet with Andrea and Mary and Bob, whoever we want to meet with, and we can go over and talk to her about how the garden went in, where they got their funding. And I've also talked to the lady from White Clay Creek, And there's also funding through Chester County.
Mhm.
So there's ways to do it. We just have to get our ducks
Oh,
all
about
together.
About the, sorry.
Does anybody have any questions?
Sorry, I'm chewing.
No, that's okay.
What's the area over at Nickel Park?
The area at Nickel Park, if you go from.
I mean, how much space, I mean.
Oh, they have 25 acres.
Yeah, but
Oh, wow.
They have a
Of meadow?
big- Yes, if you go
Mhm.
down
but-
to where the fire
Right before the.
House.
the firehouse, if you turn in right at the firehouse, you can drive back into the back and it wraps all the way around the back of that park. And I
Wow.
mean, last month when it came out, all the black-eyed Susans and the stuff now, there weren't as many pollinators as some of we garden folk thought there should be, but it's
It's a start.
beautiful. It's
It's a start.
beautiful. It's beautiful and it's gorgeous. And it made the papers and everybody was all thrilled with it. So it's proved that it can be done. So that's a big step in the right direction.
So
So
should
I
we
have one-
plan just like, I'm sorry, Bob, go ahead.
I have one question, Dawn.
Mhm.
So we're talking about doing the meadow where the bluebirds are down towards Betsy's house, correct?
Mhm.
That's the first, and I've already talked to Jeff about that, and he's all on board with that. And if we could put one in from right behind the healing garden where the bluebird boxes are, down to
Yeah.
Betsy's house, if we could make that into a viable blooming meadow,
But she's
Greg
buying
would
stuff
be
already.
thrilled with it. Everybody would be thrilled with it. So that might be a starting point. That might be a jumping off point for
It's
us.
also has- okay. Let me see.
So
I would
that's,
think we should just, I'm sorry. I just,
yeah,
this-
no,
I don't like Zoom. I interrupt all the time and it's
that's
hard.
okay.
Sorry. I want to start getting together like little planning groups for stuff
Okay.
like this because I
That's a
feel like we
great
don't
idea.
really accomplish much on the meeting itself.
Right,
So
right.
maybe we could get together like a little planning group for each little like thing.
But they can hear you.
It's her son.
Yeah, yeah. Andrea has rabbit ears. No, I think,
I
No.
have a little boy here who is annoyed that I'm on a call. He wants me to play. So he's
It's adorable.
no, I think planning groups are
Mhm.
awesome because that's how you get things done. You get together and you really dig in and you do the
Mhm.
homework and then you
No
bring it
pun
in
intended, yeah.
and you're able to say, this is what I've worked on. And see, that's why I got so excited when everybody said, oh, we have to do it. But I said, wait, I've been working on this. So you need to sit down and,
That's cute.
yeah.
How old? 10?
I know. My little Marcus likes to be on TV every time I'm on
Mhm.
TV too, so. But no, I think that's a brilliant idea. I think we should think up ideas and then have smaller
Mhm.
committees or groups for each of those
Mhm.
ideas that
Or
we can
meetings.
really dig in and have separate meetings and stuff like that. So I'm all for that.
All right, cool. It sounds like a great idea.
Mhm.
Now I'm sorry. Before we you know what? Never mind.
go for it. It's okay. I mean, the next up on our list is additional topics, and so I had a very small agenda for today. So feel free to. Now's your time, Mary.
Okay, I didn't want to cut Dawn off if she wasn't done. That's all.
No, I'm fine. And I would like to get together whoever wants to sit down and talk about it. And we can go over and meet with Betsy Curlin and ask her about that meadow and do our homework. And so
Yeah,
I'm
I would
fine
very
with
much
that.
so like to be involved in that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Me as well, yep.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, I can set something up.
Me too.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah.
and now that Heather is here and Jennifer, are you still with us or are you off in Pocono land?
Nope, I'm here. I'm here.
Do you guys want to discuss the whole vice chair thing?
Sure.
Okay. Heather, I know you showed some interest, so I didn't know if you wanted to talk about it, but I definitely had it in my brain when I was talking about all this to have Bob in there. And I'm not going to lie, it's kind of a strategic position right now because I want to try to get everybody to work together. So it's not that I'm like not being like, Heather, no, you know what I mean? It's just that I feel like maybe this would be helpful with the whole situation right now.
It would be helpful, Mary, with the whole situation to have Bob as the
Yeah.
vice chair.
Yes.
And that is fine with me. I have no objections.
Alrighty. Do we vote on this or?
Assuming Bob wants it. We're all deciding for him.
Yeah, we had spoken about it a little bit before you got on, that's all.
Okay.
Okay, do we want to just?
So Mary, I'd be happy to make a motion to for Bob Magnus to be the vice chair of the Parks, Recreation, and Open Spaces Board. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, Bob's our guy.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Mary. Okay, and then so we are on to the additional topics line item of the meeting. I do want to share with you. So Bob just sent me a picture. He and several of our pro board members spent some time putting his the flower bed together over at Bamshire, and it looks fantastic. And so I am going to share a picture of it with everyone. Let's see here. Here she is. Oh, it looks great. It's
Yeah,
filled
with all
it's
the
filled
rains
in very
recently.
nicely.
Who is it? Bob's
It's-
Garden.
Oh my God.
It's really
Awesome.
exploded now.
Looks
Bob,
better
how do
than,
you Bob, how do you
looks
keep the
better
deer
than the
from
healing
eating?
garden right now.
Right now, yeah.
Oh.
How do I
Bob,
what?
how do you keep the deer from eating the impatiens though? The deer ate all my impatiens.
They're not impatiens.
Is it
Oh.
Vinca?
It's Vinca.
Oh, okay.
Right
No.
now, also, Lisa just left the room and I don't know what those yellow ones are that we picked, but they are deer retardant, basically.
Oh.
See the ones with the little yellow flowers?
Yeah.
If you
They're
put them
probably
around your
I know that
gardens,
marigolds are very
They look like
Marigolds.
marigolds, yeah.
marigolds are very
you put them around your gardens, it'll
Oh.
it'll take away from the deer.
yes.
Okay, I said impatiens, but that's the same thing I have as the vinca. I just think I need to find the yellow flowers to deter them.
Yeah,
No, Jen, my flower beds and my vegetable garden, I think the rabbits have hit them hard this year.
Oh, maybe it is rabbits. Maybe it's rabbits.
The hostas harder than ever this year for some reason.
Okay, it might be the rabbits now that you say it because they've never eaten those little pink and white flowers before, and this year they're gone. So
Yeah,
Well, and the
But it looks
weather hasn't
beautiful.
helped any of us.
that is
Yeah.
true.
the deer did get that potato vine there in the front right corner
Oh,
and yanked it out. And I put it back in and now it looks like the one in the right rear corner. Like within a couple weeks, it just exploded again. So
okay. It's very nice. It's very good.
thank you.
It looks fantastic, Bob.
Thanks.
It looks great.
Are there any other things to discuss tonight? Anything we've missed? No?
Not that I know
All right. Well then, you guys, I might have we might have had our fastest meeting yet.
of.
I vote to adjourn the meeting. All in favor?
Bye.
Andrea, I just want to say thank you for your service.
Oh gosh, I'm not going anywhere.
We're not letting her go anywhere.
I'm not left.
No, I know that, but
I'm not leaving you, but I'm happy to pass the reins for a little while.
Okay.
And, so thank you, but it's certainly a lot of lessons learned for me. So thank you all.
When it dries up, Andrea and her boys are going to be decorating one of the little libraries.
Yeah, that's true. We've got the paper.
hey,
Together.
wonderful.
We've talked about all the different things that we can do, haven't we?
Yay.
Yeah.
Thanks, right?
That's great.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, enjoy the rest of your week, and we will see you soon. We'll see you Saturday.
Have fun on your vacations.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Mm.
Hey,